You guys are that are joining, watching live. Drop a comment below where you're watching this from. Where are you based? You in the United States? Are you in a particular city, or are you overseas? Which is cool as well. I know I have a decent overseas following as well. But guys, really, what I want to do in this live stream, this weekly live stream here, I'm going to be going to Denver to celebrate my stepbrother's bachelor party in Denver, Colorado on Thursday, which is very fun. Never been to Denver, so I'm excited to check that off the old bucket list. But yeah, just figured I'd pump this out on a Monday. Got a lot of stuff to do and want to keep busy. So, really, guys, the time that we have, I want to show you how you can optimize your own Google business profile in 2025. I'm going to show you all the things currently that we're doing for momentum and ultimately how we can actually scale this to not only more profiles, but ultimately how you can use this same strategy to get more clients yourself. That sound good to you? Well, I hope it does. And let's get started. So, what I want to do is I want to show you, we have so many profiles, as you can see here. I want to show you guys the main profile that we've been using for Momentum, the Momentum 361 in Philadelphia. So, this Market Street location we've been pretty much having since day one. This was like the first one that we have. And really, what I want to do is show you how you can optimize your profile to be as generating lead friendly as possible. So a couple of things I want to note is your business on Google. The first thing you'll see is the amount of customer interactions you have. So you can go to the overall interactions, the calls, the chat clicks, the bookings, the directions, the website clicks, all this stuff. And the cool thing is you can actually check this out on a 6-month time period. So you can go 3 months back, 6 months back, and see, hey, how am I trending? How are our metrics, right? Now, I will say for Momentum, we really started getting a lot of hits in 2021. And now our rankings are so good that we just, and I don't want to say, hey, we need to just do general maintenance and we'll get the same spot. We do need to still, do the things that we got us to the dance. Otherwise, someone is going to take us over. But we have a lot more flexibility because we are a larger company now, and that's just kind of the reality of the situation. So this is pretty cool data. If you're wondering, Sean, why is June 12 and May is 149? What's going on here? Well, the month just started, and normally what happens with these months, if you're currently in them, you're obviously not going to get the full accurate data until it hits the month end. So just note on that. The other thing I want to note is the profile strength. So when you first create a Google business profile, guys, you want to get this profile strength to be 100%. A lot of reasons, and this is very important. If you want to stop this video or write it down, this is going to be kind of those golden nuggets. The main reason I see profile strength lacking, meaning this circle here is about 80%, and there's a little room right there where it says, hey, you need to do this to optimize it. The one thing I see is people don't sync and don't have a Google Workspace for their business. So let me explain it. Momentum Virtual Tours is our domain. That's going to be the domain that we sync with Google Workspace. So many people, let's just say if you have a business, Bob's Burgers, right? Not the TV show, but just making an example. If you have a burger establishment, a hamburger establishment, right? And it's bobsburgers.com, you want to have that email be the same as the domain. So what you would need to do is go to Google Workspace, put some code into the domain so it syncs, so you actually can prove that you do own the domain, right? Very, very simple. And what will happen is I think you pay like $10, $12, $13 a month for the branded Workspace account. And it's great because you get, upgraded storage, you get a branded email. It's a lot better, right? And it's better for SEO as well. So the profile strength will be 100% after you do that. The main reason I see people don't have 100% is because they're missing that branded email with Google Workspace. So you guys definitely got to get that taken care of. After that, I really just want to go left to right, and we'll start with edit profile. So what we do here at Momentum is we just follow the basics, right? You can go on any Google business guideline. This is essentially what they'll see is ultimately how you can get more traction and what do you ultimately need to do for a profile to rank higher, right? So you have your business name here. The business category thing is very, very important because I feel like a lot of people just put this on steroids and there's so many categories here. You really just only need to pick less than 10 categories for what you actually do. Okay. So if you're a general contractor, right, and you're specializing in a lot of different things, pick 10 things that you're very good at, because what's going to happen is you're ultimately going to rank for the things that you're categorized in. You don't want to put so many categories that you just can't rank for all of them, right? Because that's not how the algorithm works. So you want to pick about 6 or 10, right? We have 6 right here. And ultimately, you're going to start to rank higher because you have less categories. It's really just as simple as that, right? On top of this, for the business description, you want to mention all of these categorized services in the description. So you have 150 characters to play with. I think that's what it is, right? Yeah. And then the other thing that's interesting is you can actually suggest an AI generated description based on the things that you provide, which I don't know if I would recommend this. I mean, I don't know if there's any data saying, oh, this AI generated thing from Google is better than the one you put together yourself. I don't know that. That could be a possibility, but I haven't seen the data for that. So that's that. Opening date, it's a good thing to fill out just so people can show you, hey, this is when we first, started up our business. Phone number, chat. So this is a new thing with Google, right? The whole chat system, people can text you, which is really important. And the website, obviously, that's what you need. It's 2025. If you don't have a website, what are you doing? And the social media profiles. This is an interesting one. So Google actually put together all of these social media profiles, and you get, what is this? 7 profiles that you can add from YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So we actually need to add our LinkedIn here. And actually, no better time like the present. So let me actually go and do that right now. But what you guys will see is you want to max out the number of profiles you have, social media profiles, that is, for a business, simply because it just, it's a backlink and citation. That's really what it is. So you're doing good local SEO. That means you've had all these things. You're checking the box with Google, and you're ultimately going to get more local SEO friendly rankings because of this, right? You have your business address here. I'm not going to go into the whole verification stuff. I think a lot of people come to the live stream wanting to, hey, how do I verify my profile with like their address? That's like a whole book. That's probably like an hour's worth of a live stream right there. I don't have the time for that. So we're going to keep this, on the back burner for now. The one thing I will say, though, is service areas. So again, like I mentioned before with the categories, you don't want to put, oh, I do, if you're a general contractor in Boston, right? You don't want to do, oh, I'm a GC in Harvard, or in New York City, in Philadelphia, like in all these other cities, right? Do Harvard, do South Boston, do I don't know the whole towns of Boston. I'm not really from there, but you get my point. Is you want to pick the ones that you think you can rank in the best, the ones that you actually do the most work in, so you can rank number 1 and get more work off of that. So that's essentially what we did with this profile, right? Business hours, what are those things? If you're just starting out, I would recommend putting this to be 24/7 because it's just SEO friendly. The more calls you can get, because your business is going to be deemed as open at that time. So, but beware, you're going to get a lot of calls, in weird hours, and especially if you're sleeping, it's kind of a catch-22. But if you're just starting out in business, this is what I would recommend, right? Special hours, if you have anything for a holiday, I would add this in here. Momentum, we celebrate pretty much all holidays, so it doesn't really make sense for us to add everything here. And honestly, we just really haven't. So we got to work on that, hand raised. Add more hours. So if this is more so for like a restaurant or establishment, maybe, drive through, stuff like that, bar, restaurant, happy hour, stuff like that. We don't really have that. From the business, you can add in, if you're Asian owned, Black owned, veteran owned business, cool, you can add that. Amenities, stuff like this, crowd, stuff like that. Parking, cool, do you have a parking lot, whatever? No. This doesn't really apply to our type of business, but you just want to be cognizant of if you do have this. So, okay, what other languages are part of the business, service options? So that's pretty much the edit profile. You want to make sure that ultimately you have this optimized just like you do with the profile strength. You do not want to just wing it and BS it and bullshit it, and you're not going to get any rankings that way. Well, you could still get rankings, but you're not going to get as many rankings as if you do it properly. Okay, so it's very, very important. Moving on, reviews. I've talked about this ad nauseum. Guys, it's so important when you're first starting out in business to get a Google business profile and get reviews to the profile. So since 2020, really, when I got into this business, once I graduated Penn State, we had 10 reviews. Now we have 430, right? You want to constantly ask for reviews, get reviews. clients, family members. You want to get reviews when you're first starting out. It's very, very important because the higher the review ranking, and especially if you have good reviews, the better, right? It's very, very important. The other thing that's very important is you want to reply to all of these reviews here that are not responded to, because essentially what's happening is if you were to say, oh, like, thanks for rating us as the best content marketing agency or company, right? That keyword will actually get put up with Google, so you could potentially rank with that keyword as well. And the other thing too is it's one of those things that for the Google business profile, it's very, very important to reply to these reviews because people can see, hey, there's kind of like a vibe and presence behind the name of it. You're technologically savvy, you're responding to these people, and it's nice. It's just a really cool thing at the end of the day, right? Sorry if I'm picking at my nose. I have a little bit of allergies right now, so I'm trying to fight through it. Photos. You want to take photos of your business. You want to add in photos with your camera, in my sense, with doing a lot of 360 work, logos, all this stuff. Very, very important. Updates. This is a really, really important thing too. So you can add 3 different kinds of updates to your profile. You can add an update just talking about something general. You can have a photo here. You can have a description. You have 1,500 characters to play with as well. So maybe, you can play around with the SEO. And then you have a slew of options for call to action. So what I like to do is call now or learn more. And then what you would do is they would get sent a link for the button, which is really cool. So I would check that out. Other things you can do for the ad update: create an offer, sales thing, or an event. If you have like a nonprofit event you're trying to push or you're hosting or whatever, you can add that there, which is pretty cool. Performance, we kind of already talked about this already, so you can see the analytics. Advertise, I'll get to that in a second. I want to do some other quick things real quick. Edit products. So this is very important too. So even if you're a service-based business, you want to have this somewhat filled out with products that you have. So for us, we have Matterport Pro 3 camera. This is something we're actually like a dedicated reseller of this camera. You can add in products, all this stuff. It just looks really good to fill out in the eyes of Google, right? And then services, obviously, this is where you can go crazy. We have so many, as you can see, services that we specialize in based on the feedback of others. And then bookings, this is a super easy way to get more calls. So you can have your main booking link go here. I can just go to this real quick. So essentially this button here, if people go to this link, they will get hit with a, hey, schedule a demo with us, blah, blah, blah. Super cool. That's really easy. That's a super easy way, guys, where you can get more calls, right? The Q&A button. So this is actually going away. So the questions and answers section of the Google Business Profile is going away very soon. But it used to be a gold mine. Like people used to ask us a lot of questions, get back to them. Essentially, the whole thought process is, or was, you want to put a question that people will Google, and then you want to put an answer in with what people would want to know the answer to. So where are virtual tour services near me? Answer that. How much a virtual tour services cost? Boom, there you go. And ultimately, the kind of thought is, hey, you're going to start to rank for these questions and answers. And when someone Googles the question, that's when your little snippet of the Q&A section will pop up. And then that's how people go to the profile, right? Last thing I want to talk about is reviews. I already kind of harped about this, guys, but it's very, very important. You want to essentially either copy the link, email it, WhatsApp, Facebook, what have you, or you have a QR code, which is really, really cool. So this is a dedicated QR code for your business. Take a screenshot of it, send it over to people, have them leave reviews, grow your business that way. Very, very cool, right? Now, the one thing I will say is going into advertising. So this is, grow your business. People, ultimately, the whole purpose, Google has these business profiles here. They don't make any money off of it, right? That's why there's not a lot of support, obviously. For ads, there is support, right? Because they have, they're making a lot of money off this. I mean, one of their highest generating services on Google is Google Ads. They're generating, I don't know. I mean, probably hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars in revenue just based off of this. I don't know, but I mean, it's a shitload of money. I think we know that, right? So this is one of these things too. Even if you don't have like a full-on ads account, you want to build out the ad account. I'm not going to talk about this in this video directly, but you want to essentially build out the ads account as if you were going to run ads. And what a lot of people do is just run ads aimlessly. What I would recommend is just get the profile done first and then worry about advertising later. But this way you have a dedicated ad profile that's already kind of set up. Same thing goes with the Google local service ads too. The Google local service ads are very, very important. Even if you're not running ads necessarily, it's a good thing to do to set up the profile, just to get set up with that, because it's a good thing to have in the eyes of Google. I don't have any information, guys, about, oh, Google is going to rank you higher if you have an LSA account but you don't use it, just for the sole purpose of having one. I don't know the data to that, but for some clients, that's kind of what it seems like, right? So use that, see if that makes any sense. And other than that, guys, I mean, this is pretty much how, if I was starting again, what I would do. What I would recommend to do, if you're a new business, set out getting anywhere from 5 to 10 new reviews every single week. I know it's kind of, aggressive, but you got to grow your business, right? That's what you recommend. You can get literally everything done in a week. Like, add photos, add updates. I would add about 3 to 4 updates a week. Booking link, like all this stuff, needs to be done once. The email sync with the Google Workspace, the profile strength, that only needs to be done one time. So yeah, the only ongoing things you really need to do is the Q&A, ask for reviews, reply to the reviews, post photos and updates and stuff, and that's really it. I mean, guys, this is very, very elementary stuff, but I think people just don't have the time to figure this out for themselves, and they just don't have the time to manage it. So guys, if you got any value out of this, this is exactly what we do for our clients. Not 100% what we do. I can't reveal the secret sauce necessarily. No, I'm kidding. But this is for the majority what we do to actually grow profiles. If you guys have any questions, what I would implore you to do is call our number, 215-607-6482. Sorry, I'm talking too fast. Or you want to email me at sean@needmomentum.com. I will be the one to answer any questions you have pertaining to Google My Business, digital marketing, ads, social media, all that stuff, right? So do yourself a favor, hit subscribe, turn on post notifications. So every single time I drop a live stream with knowledge, you guys can, kind of review what it's about. 11:30, people are eating lunch right now. So, listen to this and watch it while you're eating lunch. I mean, not saying I would, but yeah, maybe I'd watch a little Bob the Sports instead. But all jokes aside, like the video, comment, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.